good news. So if you're tired of hearing bad news, here's a little bit of good news. Now, I have my issues with Mark Cuban. I think it's ridiculous that he has so much money he could just buy a town in Texas and he has no idea what he wants to do with it, but he just bought one just because he could. I covered that story last year. But every now and then, Mark Cuban will do something good. Let's see what Mark is up to now. If you are passionate about healthcare in this country, this story is for you. So Mark Cuban, we've complained a lot about the prices of prescription drugs. This is from the Good News Network. Now, I do want to tell you guys, if you ever get tired of hearing bad news, you should check out this site here called Good News Network. It's just nothing but good news. There's nothing bad on here. Nothing bad on here. I saw something about Rumble. What was that? Someone said you should stream on Rumble too and start migrating viewers over there. Lee Camp doubled his view. I am on Rumble. All my links are, I'll show you guys later where all my links are. They're under each video. I don't stream on Rumble because they charge you to stream. It's not like YouTube or Rockfin where it's free and I just pay for my streaming platform. Rumble actually charges you. That's why I don't live stream. What I'll do is just sync my videos over, so they'll be over there. But if you're on Rumble and you're not watching YouTube, you won't see it live. You'll see it after the fact. Yeah. So what is Mr. Billionaire Mark Cuban up to this time around? Billionaire Mark Cuban opens an online pharmacy to provide affordable generic drugs. I kid you not. This is actually an older story, but I never covered it, and I wanted to give you guys some good news. Mark Cuban has officially launched his newest venture, the online pharmacy called Cost Plus Drugs. Now, don't get me wrong. There's something in this for Mark, too. Mark's still making money. Okay. Good News Network previously reported on Cuban support for Texas radiologist Dr. Alex O, who started a public benefit company to provide cheap pharmaceutical drugs. The launch comes just weeks after the company's pharmacy benefit manager operation was established. Both are efforts in the pursuit to help shield consumers from inflated drug prices. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. Yeah, I like that. According to a September 2021 Gallup poll, 18 million Americans were recently unable to pay for at least one prescription medication for their household due to ever-rising cost. And 1 in 10 Americans have skipped doses to save money. This is something we've heard a lot from people who have to use insulin. I know people that have been rationing their insulin because of the cost. That's dangerous too, by the way, especially depending on how developed your case of diabetes can be. That can be dangerous. It goes on to say the pharmacy's launch represents the first milestone in bringing affordable medications to millions. Notable medications that epitomize the pharmacy savings include imatinib, a leukemia treatment that has a retail price of $9,657 per month, but with MCC PDC costs $47 a month. Guys, look at this. Do you see how the pharma industry is just ripping off the American people? A leukemia treatment, retail price of over $9,000 per month. Most of us don't even make $9,000 per month. But now, through the MCC PDC, you can get that same prescription drug treatment for $47 a month. That is a huge difference. Huge difference. Mesalamine and ulcerative, I think I'm saying that correctly. Ulcerative, yeah. Mesalamine and ulcerative colitis treatment that retails at $940 per month comes in at just $32.40 per month with MCC PDC. Again, comparison, $940 to $32.40 per month. The gout treatment, colchicine, retails at $182 per month. The lowest price with a common voucher is $32 per month. And with MCC PDC, it costs just $8.70 per month. This is a huge difference. Consumer pricing. We will do whatever it takes to get affordable pharmaceuticals to patients. Now, that's coming from Alex, who is the CEO of Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drug. So that is the MCCPD. The markup on the potentially life-saving drugs that people depend on is a problem that can't be ignored. It is imperative that we take action and help expand access to these medications for those who need them most. Now, see, this is something where you would expect our federal government to come in and take this on, right? Now, they did pass a couple provisions to cut the cost of prescription drugs for people who are on Medicare. But if you're not on Medicare, then that doesn't apply to you. So here you have people like Mark Cuban that are deciding, let's see how we can help. Since the government's not going to do it, what can we do? Again, like I said, this is still making money for Mark Cuban. It's not like he's doing this for free and not benefiting from it. But it is really sad that prescription drugs in this country are even that price to begin with. How did we even get here? So Big Pharma has been a huge, huge disappointment, and they have they've tried to monopolize this in so many ways. But now you have other people that are stepping in that are like, let's try to get this cheaper for people. As a registered pharmaceutical wholesaler, MCC PDC can bypass inflated markups. The pharmacy's prices reflect actual manufacturer prices plus a flat 15% margin and pharmacist fee. Because the company refuses to pay spread prices to third-party PBM administrators in order to be allowed to process insurance claims, the online pharmacy will be a cash pay venture. However, its model means patients can immediately purchase a broad array of medications at prices often less than what most insurance plans' deductible and copay requirements would total. That's huge too. Some people have these insurance plans that you have to actually reach a certain amount of your deductible before the insurance company will pay anything. These deductibles sometimes can be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to $5,000. I've been on some of these plans. How many times you got to go to the doctor to reach that $5,000 deductible? That's crazy. So you got to pay out of your pocket until it hits 5,000, and then the insurance company will come in and pay. And so when people try to say that Medicare for all would be a bad idea because the government would control it, tell that to the people who have insurance and have those high deductibles, and they have to pay $5,000 before the insurance company will even pay anything. Tell that to those people, and tell that to the people who don't have health insurance. Not everyone has Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I say this because they tend to pay more than most. Not everyone has TRICARE. And I say that because as someone who was from a military family, that's what we were on, is TRICARE. TRICARE will cover almost everything. And you shouldn't have to be a part of the military industrial complex to get that same benefit. Now, it goes on to say in November 2021, MCC PDC entered the PBM, all these abbreviations, God, PBM industry to serve companies providing prescription coverage in their employee benefit plans. They have pledged to be radically transparent in its own negotiations with drug companies as a PBM, revealing the true cost it pays for drugs and eliminating spread pricing and misaligned rebate initiatives. Let's talk about revealing the true cost. I used to work for a company called Biogen. It's a pharma company. the department that I worked in, they were known for MS drugs. So people who have multiple sclerosis. During that time, they released a drug called Tecfidera. It was breakthrough. It was this huge announcement because it was the first oral prescription medication for people that have MS. It was the first one. There are a lot of promises with this drug. As time went by, Tecfidera seemed to have quite a bit of side effects. Now, all of them do, but these were particularly worse. And then Tecfidera started to get a bad name. What I noticed when I worked at Biogen is you actually got to see how much these drugs actually cost. And when you see how much it costs these labs at places like Biogen to create that drug, and then you see how much they're charging the American people to purchase that drug, this is definitely a scam industry. They are ripping off the American people. Because I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If it costs you $50 to produce a prescription drug, but you are charging the American people hundreds of dollars, even like $1,000, that is a ripoff. And that's just a scheme for the pharma companies to make a lot of money. And a lot of them do it. A lot of them do it. So working for Big Pharma, I got to see those things. I got to see how much these insurance companies were actually paying and how much they were actually covering for these patients and how much the patients had to pay. That's why I get so angry about healthcare. Let's go on. They also anticipate its PBM could save companies millions of dollars with no changes to its benefits, depending on the size of the employer, but it will eliminate the traditional PBM model. The company plans to integrate its pharmacy and wholesaler with its PBM, so any company that uses such services will have access to wholesale pricing through its online pharmacy. Here it is, guys. Mark Cuban, cost plus drug company. So you can see more about it here. So again, like, he's still a billionaire. I have criticized Mark Cuban a couple of times because some of the things that he's done that I felt was just him just being greedy. So there's that. But I will give credit where credit is due. You have to find a way to make these prescription drugs cheaper, man. People shouldn't have to pay thousands of dollars, even just to get like chemo treatment. Like I had a friend that was on chemo and she was paying $1,600 a month. $1,600. That was after the insurance company already paid their portion. So kudos there. Let me go to some of the comments here. JB, watch a bunch of capitalists say, see, this is capitalism working when it's not given or available to all. They will say that, JB. Angela says, now and then the uber rich will do something that benefits people overall. Andrew Carnegie was a robber baron, but he also donated a lot of libraries that are still benefiting people today. That's right. James, think about how many people have died directly from big pharma products. There must be tons no one knows about. Particularly people that are retired, they are on a fixed income. You know, they may run into these problems as well. I've seen this along the way. I used to work at a skilled nursing facility, so I saw these problems. Even they had insurance and they had Medicare and all those kinds of things. But when you're on a fixed income and these prescription drugs continue to go up, and let's say all of a sudden they decide they're not going to cover something, like it can be very stressful. So I have seen people ration their insulin before. Betsy says, I hate private insurance. I used to work for Optum, which is part of United Healthcare. And I'm so glad I got out. It made me feel ill working for big, bad insurance. I felt the same way. Totally feel you. Totally feel you.